I still gotta continue on the other video from last night. I just woke up. The cold in my room is making me shake. My GI is slightly better, but my nervous system is just as bad as it was every year for 25 years. It's not gonna go away. And treating it with medications or drugs of my choice isn't gonna work. And listening to my mother and father about those medications is completely crazy and deadly. That's the actual problem. If I try to do that, then I will really be in trouble. So I'm shaking horribly, and I need seizure medication, neurological medication, and this needed to be treated years, like 20 years ago. They don't care. My family has never cared if I live or die. That was clear on the night of the newspapers. I know, as a nurse, any nurse would know when you have a reaction where your kid's breathing is slowing down, he's going unconscious, he can't see, he can't talk, he can't stand up, he can't ask for help, he's, really scared, something serious is going on. You don't leave him to die on a pile of newspapers. And I know she knew that. She knew something serious was going on. She had a proper education to know what to do. On the phone call that she made right before I went unconscious, she said the words, "They don't know what they are talking about." Later, years later, when I asked her about that, she was just the hospital and she didn't remember saying that. Of course she did. And after talking about these situations, she first would deny it. And then after I brought it up a couple more times, she would get angry, get in my face and yell, "Yeah, I did it. So what? Yeah, I gave you extra Epicac. So what?" Or, "That was just an allergy. Shut up about it." Things like that were the answers I got. And she would get right in my face and scream at me for it. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my body. That's why I'm asking you about the extra Epicac. That's why I'm asking you and bringing this up every time at the doctor. This is why. Something is going on with my body, something you're doing to me, and I want to know what it is. And yet I just get screamed and hurt. There were several times where she would get drunk, verbally abuse me. She would take metal rulers, smack me around, take shoes, throw it at me in the car, smack me around too. And you would think that would be because I did something, where sometimes I would steal something or do something wrong and I would deserve the punishment. But other times she would just go off on no reason. There would be no physical reason. I would be sitting on the floor, in the middle of the floor, and she would just get more and more violent, and I would do exactly what she asked. I'll give you an example that there was witnesses for. We were having some Christmas party. There was a Christmas tree. We were in the living room watching TV. I was on this love seat with her, sitting next to her. She was next to me on the right. There was two people or so on the couch across on the right side, way far away. She tells me, "Get down on the floor. Get down on the floor. I don't want you next to me." I said, "What? What am I doing?" "I just said get on the floor. You get down on that floor." And I didn't know why she's getting so mad and violent. I'm quiet. I'm watching TV. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not doing anything. But I do what I'm told because I know if I don't, oh my God, will my mother hurt me. She will drug me. She will hit me. She will scream. She'll lie and manipulate. She'll make up stories about me. She'll do stuff like drink and then say I drank it. I mean, she'll do so many hurtful things that I better do what this evil woman wants me to do. So I sit on the floor. I get up and I go on the dirty carpet and I go on the floor and I sit on the floor. And then she calls the dog up onto the chair and goes, "See, the dog is better than you. Yeah, this dog is better." She makes comments like that a lot. How I'm nothing and I'm not worth anything and I'm beneath her and I'm a lesser. What? Okay, a child might be like me and trained, but the way she's saying these things are incredibly hurtful. They're crazy. They also show a mental illness. They show something's going on with her. It doesn't stop there though. Then She has a dog next to her. I'm on the floor. Then she starts screaming at me, "Get down lower to the floor. Get down. Get down." So at this point, I'm kind of sitting Indian style, and I'm just sitting down. So I kind of get lower. She's now screaming at me on the floor to get even lower. So I get lower. I now kind of put my elbow side, my elbow down. So now I'm only about, my body's only a foot and a half off the floor, maybe a foot at max. So I'm trying to see the TV, kind of leaning on my elbow, keeping my head up with my elbow. I'm not feeling too good about how I'm being treated at this point, but I'm always treated like this. And just like I told my nephew, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm used to it by now." And I was. I used to get so much abuse, so much druggings, so much of this crap that I did get used to it. Now, now I've got off the couch, I've sat on the floor, and now I've moved my position to be maybe a foot to 2 feet lower, and I got my head up on my fist, holding myself up with my elbow on the carpet. Kind of like that position that you see sexy paintings of women. You know how they kind of are on a couch holding up their head with their hand or their fist, and they're using their elbow to hold it up. Yeah, if you lay down and you're trying to look at the TV and you're holding your head up like that. At this point, she yells at me again. She goes, "No, I can't see the TV. You get down." Now, she could see the TV. You gotta remember, I'm maybe 12 to 14 years old, and I'm only 12 inches at max off the floor. I'm laying down now, and she's on a couch, and the TV's on a big mantle. So there's nothing to do with the TV. So now she's making up lies and stories to be mean. It's very clear to the people at this party that she's making up stories. She's making up lies just to be mean and maybe for attention as well. I'm not sure what this disorder is, why she's having this mental illness at this Christmas party, but it has something to do with alcohol and the way she was. But at this point, she continues screaming at me. So this time, I just lay down on my back and I'm looking at the ceiling. Now, I can't see the TV because I'm not allowed to even sit up. I'm not allowed to turn my body and hold my head up. I have to sit on my back and look at the ceiling. At this point, I try to turn to look at the TV, and she starts screaming at me some more. At this point, somebody gets involved. They come in and they say, "Stop that! Stop talking to him like that." I think it might have been my brother, it might have been my sister. I'm not sure who was there. Most of the time, my memory's clear of my mother. I got the way she looked, her eyes, how they used to get kind of evil and mean. I used to also know this quite a bit, and I was very worried about what she would do next because the druggings I already knew about at this point. I didn't know exactly what she was doing with these meds or why I felt worse or why she was, doing these things, why she was hitting me, why she was screaming at me for nothing, why she was blaming things that she was doing or non-existent things on me. I had no idea what all this meant. When your mother day drinks and blames it on you, what does that mean? I have no idea. When your mother makes up stories and spreads it around for attention about you, I have no idea what that means. When people hit you repeatedly, smack you with an open hand, throw shoes at you, hit you with rulers for stuff you didn't do, and make up total stories or make up stuff that you did just so they can hit you, I don't know what that means. Giving me an overdose at age 7 and not calling an ambulance and not getting me help, I have no clue what that means. Giving me extra Epicac, I have no clue what that means. All these other druggings, all these times, like when I was getting adopted and went to court and I passed out on the benches, and passed out in the car, and everybody asked me at my adoption party, "What's wrong with you?" Well, why do you look like that? What are you, depressed? You should be happy to join this family. And I am happy. I'm just lethargic and drugged right now. Did you guys not realize that my parents were drugging me? I thought everybody knew I was being drugged. Everybody, I thought, knew that these pills were being forced down my throat. But apparently they didn't. Now, there was